Jeopardy years ago, even though my wardrobe outfit wasn't the greatest choice.
No, it doesn't matter. Everybody's dress is very bad on that show.
They're doing some guest hosting spots, and it's going to be released here pretty soon. But I have the opportunity to do one of those.
Let's go!
Aaron Rodgers telling Pat McAfee earlier today that he will be guest hosting Jeopardy. They're in a tough spot with that show. Who in the world is going to follow Alex Trebek? And they're working their way through the final episodes now before he passed of pancreatic cancer recently. Maybe you just permanently do guest host. I don't think anyone can do justice to that job the way that Alex Trebek did it for so long. But it got us thinking, Charean. Matt Borzello. Happy birthday, Matt, by the way. He had a suggestion for us to ponder. NFL players or figures, past or present, that would make for a great Jeopardy host. Who comes to mind for you?
Well, I started thinking about the commercials, Mike, and who's good in the commercials. There's no one better in commercials. We remember the Saturday night episode with Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning easily is number one on this list. But if I'm going to pick a current player, and I got myself in trouble earlier in the year when I said Baker Mayfield was better, had more commercials than wins in the NFL. I probably have to reel that back in now. But I would take Baker Mayfield. I think he's done a great job on the commercials. They're funny. I enjoy watching them. I think it'd be fantastic as a host of that show.
You started talking about commercials, and I thought of the old Miller Lite commercials with John Madden. And wouldn't John Madden be awesome as the host of Jeopardy? He would be great. I thought of Gronk because it would be fun to watch Gronk trying to actually read the clues, holding the cards up to his face and asking for help on pronouncing various names. So there'd be a lot of great, colorful personalities that could pull it off. It's going to be a challenge for Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be a challenge for anybody to do that job because it's not as easy as it looks. And part of the greatness of Alex Trebek was making it look as easy as he did. The good thing is it's not live. So they can have as many takes and jump cuts as they need to try to prop up the performance of the host. But could you imagine someone trying to pull that off live? That would be almost impossible to do. All right, let's answer some questions. At Vamos for Ramos, if Big Ben retires and Deshaun Watson really wants out of Houston, what about Deshaun Watson, Charean, to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Your reaction to that?
I think it'd be great for the Steelers, but I don't see the Texans doing that. You look at the two big trades they made, and that was sending DeAndre Hopkins. They sent him to Arizona, an NFC team, and they sent Dwayne Brown to Seattle. Jadeveon Clowney also went to Seattle. So, I don't think the Texans are dumb enough to trade Deshaun Watson, but I didn't think they were dumb enough to trade DeAndre Hopkins either.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So it's not going to surprise me if they trade him. I will be surprised if they trade him to an AFC team. Having said all that, when you look at the top of the draft, you want to pick that's higher than the Steelers. And when you look at the top of the draft, it's all AFC teams.
When you consider what the Texans are currently doing to try to repair the relationship, it shows me that they are taking it seriously, that they are scrambling to try to repair it, and they know it's untenable for them to proceed with a quarterback who doesn't want to be there. Whether he withholds services or whether he holds in, where he just shows up and says, hey, I just work here. I'm not showing up early. I'm not staying late. I'm not going to be the leader of the team. I'm not going to be part of management. I'm just a player like anybody else, like the long snapper, the kicker, the running back, the left guard. That's all I am. Either way, it's not sustainable for the Texans. And the mere fact that we're hearing that Eric Bieniemy is going to get interviewed for the job eventually tells me the Texans are trying to fix this because they know they can't win. I had somebody suggest to me over the weekend that the Texans should just play hardball with him and say, if you want to sit, go ahead and sit like Mike Brown did with Carson Palmer 10 years ago. It's not going to work because he's not going to cave if he's decided he doesn't want to be there. And that's the thing. These efforts may be too late if he's decided he doesn't want to be there. The Steelers would make sense if they are the team that, of the teams that Deshaun Watson will play for, there's going to be a subset of the other 31 teams that he'll say yes to. That's what you do if you're the Texans. You figure out from Deshaun Watson who are the teams you'll play for. And then you have an auction of those teams. And you drive up the price as high as you can. And that's how it would play out. And if you have a top 10 pick and you're one of the teams Deshaun Watson will play for, you're more likely to be the team that Deshaun Watson lands with. And you're right, Charean, not having a top 10 pick will make it harder for the Steelers to win that auction if it comes to it. Some of these Twitter handles I can't quite make out. Inquiadici, I think, is how you would pronounce this if it were actually a word. Is Matthew Stafford a better deal overall for a quarterback-needy contender than Deshaun Watson? You don't have to give up the farm for him, and you'd get a good gunslinger for at least 5 years. Washington, maybe. First question with Matthew Stafford is, what does he want? What does the new regime in Detroit want? It's premature for now. It could be that the new group that comes in says, we love Matthew Stafford, and it could be that Matthew Stafford says, I love this new regime. I have a feeling that's not where it's going to land. But, Charean, a compelling potential franchise quarterback, a guy who's had not much success because of the team around him, could he be the answer for someone, and could he be a better option than Deshaun Watson?
I don't know if he's a better answer than Deshaun Watson, but he certainly would take less in compensation than Deshaun Watson would. I think Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback, but Matthew Stafford, I think he's serviceable. I think he's probably better with where he is in his career than Phillip Rivers is. And so you look at a team like Indy that's ready to win now, that went out and got Phillip Rivers as a bridge quarterback. Maybe Matthew Stafford is the answer in Indy or a place like that is ready to win now. Washington was mentioned. That's a place that's obviously ready to win now. If they've decided that any of these quarterbacks aren't their quarterback of the future, he'd be a perfect fit there. I think he can win somewhere that's a team that has a good defense and a good running game, Mike, and a good offensive line. Injuries, to me, still are a question with him, though. He's been banged up in his career.
Well, and here's how I look at it. Something's not right with the body of work, the experience, the 12 years or 11 years for Matthew Stafford in Detroit. And I boil it down to this. If he wasn't okay with this dysfunction that's permeated his time with the team, he should have gotten out by now. There's just some defect there. I'm having a hard time articulating it, but my point is this. If this was Peyton Manning, who had been mired in all this dysfunction in Detroit, he would have done something about it to either make it better or get the hell out of there. If it was Tom Brady, he would have done something to make it better or get the hell out of there. Matthew Stafford has done nothing to make it better or get the hell out of there between 2009 and today. So some of this is on him, Charean. I don't know if it's content to get the money he's gotten or, hey, I just throw footballs. I don't care about whether or not we win. There's something there that bugs me, that makes me think he's going to take that attitude with him to his next team. And the next team better have that leadership from others in the locker room and the kind of coach that can push the team through, because there's something missing about Matthew Stafford, the quarterback/leader. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. And in the last couple of years, I've picked Detroit as a wild card playoff team because I thought they were ready to take that next step. I thought they were ready to contend, at least for a playoff spot, if not for more than that, and they haven't done that. And that falls, Mike, squarely on the shoulders of the quarterback. Whether it's injuries, whether it's making mistakes, whatever it is, Matthew Stafford has not gotten that team where it needs to go, and he's a big reason why they are where they are, which is what they're looking for another head coach. He's a coach killer, frankly, with all the coaches they've gone through because he can't take that next step.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.